Greetings and welcome to another episode of Sonic Odyssey, the music video channel dedicated to bringing you the last 5 decades or so of music in review and discussion format. Before we dive into today's music, let's get the housekeeping out of the way. It's real easy. If you like the video, please click the thumbs up button below, and that way other people will also have a chance to see the video pop up on their video screens. And if you want, you can share the video by clicking the share button, and you can share through Facebook, Twitter, and other social media networks. And also please subscribe to the video channel so you can stay up to date with all things Sonic Odyssey. That way you can check out all the new ones that I put out as I make them, and also if you look in the show description below, there's a link for my YouTube home page where you can see all the videos that I've already put up. And I would also ask, with great humility, that you consider taking a look at my Patreon account. There's a link in the show description below, and you can see the Patreon page and decide if you would like to become a patron. You can have your name listed in each video at the end credits, and you can also go so far as to choose an album for me to review. So that's the housekeeping out of the way. Today we're going to look at and listen to a seemingly long-time act. They had a little bit of a hiatus, but they've been in the large part an active entity for many years, and they come from California. They're known as Eagles. The Eagles, and I will be using the before Eagles very often, although the band themselves are simply known as Eagles. Grammatically, it's just necessary that I insert the article the. The Eagles, namely Glenn Frey on guitar and vocals, Don Henley on drum and vocals, Bernie Leadon on guitar and vocals, and Randy Meisner on bass guitar and vocals, were originally part of Linda Ronstadt's recording and live touring band in different groups, and all together actually on her third album. It was in 1971, though, that they decided to form up a quartet and begin under the moniker Eagles, producing their own music. The sound of their first 3 albums was pretty much country rock. Their first 3 releases had chart ranking singles and success, but today we're going to be looking at and listening to their 4th LP from 1975, the one that was entitled One of These Nights. One of These Nights was the first album to include Don Fedler on lead guitar and vocals, and was also the last album that had Bernie Leadon. Another interesting fact about One of These Nights is it's the only Eagles album to feature all of the members providing lead vocals on a track on the album. The primary songwriters were Glenn Frey and Don Henley, but the other members all have writing or co-writing credits on the album. One of These Nights spawned 3 singles: the title track, One of These Nights, Lion Eyes, and Take It to the Limit. The song Lion Eyes actually won the Grammy for Best Song with vocals in 1976. The sound of One of These Nights saw the Eagles turning slightly away from their country rock roots into a more of a pop rock direction. There are lingering elements of the country rock sound throughout the album, but they're also mixed in with this swing towards the pop rock sound. And it was a quite heavy influence. They were influenced by the times of what was taking place with disco being such a heavy, popular sound in the music industry. And the Eagles were steering in that direction, not disco per se, but definitely wanting to be more pop oriented. To get a taste of this sound, we're going to give a little bit of a listen to the second track of the album. This is a song called Too Many Hands. Here on display is the country rock influence. The strong country rock influence can be heard with a mix of the pop sensibility. The acoustic guitar is, hearkening to the band's past, while the funky bass line and electric guitar definitely are pointing toward the compass direction that they're looking to go in. Randy Meisner handles lead vocals on the track, and also on the track Take It to the Limit, which was the only single Meisner ever actually sang the lead vocals for from the band's catalog. One of These Nights was a huge success for the Eagles. It debuted at 25 on the top 200 Billboard charts, and within 4 weeks had moved up to the #1 position, and it was their first album to achieve the #1 slot. It stayed on the #1 position for 4 weeks, and it was on the top 200 for quite a while. It was also the first of 4 consecutive albums that the Eagles released which achieved #1 status, and although Lion Eyes is the only song that won a Grammy Award, there were 3 other nominations from the album One of These Nights. The album sold more than 4 million copies in the United States alone. The album's 4th track, Journey of the Sorcerer, is an instrumental piece. This was written by Bernie Leadon. And it was used in the BBC production of Douglas Adams' highly lauded comedic science fiction series, The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, which was adapted for radio, and they used the original Eagles song in the radio production. And then a modified version, a remixed modified version, was also used when the BBC made a television adaptation of The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. The next bit of music that I want to play for you is from the song After the Thrill Is Gone, so let's listen to a little bit of that now.
In the same old shoes, some habits that you just can't lose. There's no telling what a man might use after the thrill is gone. The flame rises, but it soon descends.
After the Thrill Is Gone was written by Henley and Frey. Henley is quoted as saying of the song that he and Frey were aware of B.B. King's The Thrill Is Gone. and wrote the song to explore the aftermath of that saying, basically, we know that the thrill is gone, so now what? Frey and Henley share lead vocals on the track. One of These Nights is a pivotal album in the Eagles' catalog, was in part due to the shake-up in the lineup that was the first major shake-up the band had. It saw them bring in Don Fedler on lead guitar and vocals, and after the album had been recorded, Bernie Leadon would leave the band. It was the last album that he recorded with them. He was replaced on the following album by Joe Walsh on guitar. One of These Nights is also a core sound change, going from the country rock sound to the more pop rock sound, and obviously this change was tremendously popular choice with the audience in general because the public ate up their albums, and again they had a string of 4 consecutive #1 charting albums. They did have a 14-year hiatus between 1980 and 1994, but they got back together and they've maintained strong popularity and continue to have great success. Even though some of the original members are no longer in the band and have also passed away. I give One of These Nights 4 out of 5 stars. I think that it is a very well-produced album, marvelously mixed. There is a little contention. The last song on the album, I Wish You Peace, is something that Henley and Frey really didn't want on the album at all, but to keep the band together and to, let calmer heads prevail, they included it as the closing track of the album. It's not a great detraction from the album, but I think it is probably the weakest of the songs on the album. Otherwise, the album is a very strong, enjoyable, fantastic to sing along to kind of album. Soft country, pop, rock music. And I highly recommend it. So please do check out One of These Nights by the Eagles, circa 1975. And I thank you very much for your time and attention. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I would ask you again to please like, share, and subscribe, and also please consider visiting my Patreon page. I hope to see you next time. Please come back around, and until then, have a great day. Peace. Bye-bye.